they are figuring it out how to rename themselves. Chalo, great. So great, guys. We'll also go live on YouTube because a lot of students are waiting there for us on YouTube live session, right? But before we start the session, just wanted to know whether my audio and video is clear or not. If it is clear, just write clear in the chat box. We'll be happy to know that. Bata dijiye, is my audio and video is clear or not? For the people those are connected over a Zoom, and also for the people those are connected over YouTube live as well. फटाफट फटाफट बोल दो हितेश जी बता दीजिए यूट्यूब पे आप कनेक्टेड हैं वैष्णवी जी भी यूट्यूब से कनेक्टेड हैं right all clear for the people those are connected on Zoom are saying all clear right meanwhile if you want to share this meeting link you can share this meeting link with your friends okay perfectly perfectly fine I just YouTube वालों के लिए वेट कर रहा हूँ हाँ यूट्यूब पे भी आई थिंक हितेश ने बोल दिया क्लियर तो क्लियर आगे बढ़ते हैं राइट सो लैगिंग इज इट लैगिंग नो 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 यस नाउ लैगिंग ऐसा नहीं आई डोंट थिंक सो अच्छा देयर माइट बी सम इंटरनेट इशू एट माय एंड सो सॉरी बट आई थिंक इट्स परफेक्टली फाइन okay so for the people those are connected over a Zoom right I just want you to increase your awareness level for this session and how do you increase your awareness level guys for this session very simple task which you can do is by turning on your cameras the time you turn on your cameras your awareness level for the session will increase mark my words. And if you're going to be taking 10 things from the session, you'll be taking 15 things from the session out. So request all of you guys, those who are connected over Zoom, to please keep your videos on because I want to keep this session more interactive because today's session is all about deciding a domain where you can start your career from, right? So great. Now, before I start one important thing, I just want you to ask a one simple question. Okay. And the question is, do you guys want to build your career or do you guys want to have a job? I'll just tell you the differentiation between two. A job is something which you do for money, and career is something which you love, and out of which you're gonna be earning the money. ठीक है? तो क्या आपको जॉब चाहिए या करियर चाहिए? Right? Do you guys need a job or do you guys want to build your career? You guys need to answer this in the chat box, guys. Chat पे बताएंगे ताकि हमें भी समझ में आए अच्छे से. Do you guys want your job or do you guys want to build your career? Okay, most of the people, those who are connected here, I want every one of you to participate. The more you participate, the more things you're going to be gaining out of the session today. Okay. Achha, I think the voice is clear. Few people are saying the voice is low. Okay, so I could see most of the people are saying that, sir, we want to build our career out. Bang on. है ना? किसी ने तो मुद्दे की बात बोला कि जहां ज्यादा पैसा मिलेगा वो मुझे लाइफ में करना है बाकी चीजें गई भाड़ में नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड हाउ यू कैन बिल्ड आउट अ करियर राइट Now, to do that, I'm going to be sharing one of the important part, and that is a career pathway, right? A very important career pathway, which is going to be helping you decide where you can start your career from. Later on, I'll share this chart over our WhatsApp community group, which is created, right? But what is important here to please note down whatever you feel like noting it down. कि मुझे important लग रहा है. If I feel noting it down, please do it, so that you'll get a clarity कि मेरे को life में क्या नहीं कर रहा है, what is something which I can do, and what is something which excites me. Okay, so let us start with a very important discussion, and that is a career path. Okay, so I'm going to be discussing about all the topics in detailed manner because today we have a very important session, and that is on domain-wise guidance. So we'll start with one and each and every topic. We'll cover it in detail. Session might extend till 9:30 also because I don't want to decrease the stuff of a content because of we have a less time. But yes, I'll ensure that everything is covered. So the first important thing which we guys know and which you guys have done in your articleship is the CA core services, right? So many of you must in your articleship have seen and have worked in a CA core services. What all these core services include? This includes your mainly auditing, due diligence, taxation, valuation, and some other services which are there. Second services, which is something which can be your career pathway, that is a management consulting. Third services, which is purely a banking and finance. Fourth, you're going to in corporates, that means an industry. Fifth, you can also start your career from startups. And sixth, you can also do something offbeat track. Say, for example, you go for teaching, you go for a content creation, you go for a dancing, you become a model, and whatnot. Right? So that is also a possible case scenario which is there. We're going to be covering each and everything in a very detailed manner. So if you feel like I'm going fast, please do not hesitate to stop me. So the first and foremost is auditing. Now, since many of you in your articleship have worked into a statutory audit, right? We know why stat audit is important. We know what do we do in a stat audit. The end goal is to express an opinion on the financial statements, right? To express an opinion that is there. जो काम किया है उसको मैं ज्यादा नहीं समझाऊंगा डिटेल में, बट यस इट्स जस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू नो दैट व्हाट इज समथिंग व्हिच वी डोंट लाइक. आज के सेशन में यू जस्ट नीड टू सिट हियर एंड यू नीड टू डिसाइड व्हाट यू डोंट वांट. You be like, नहीं यार, articles में I've done it. I don't want to go to a client every day and ask कि भाई ये work paper ready है, then you audit that work paper. If you don't feel like doing it, don't go. Right? So statutory audit is one of the domain which is there, which you are gonna be getting into. Now, one of the best thing about a stat audit is the stat audit will give you the highest amount of exit in all the domains. Why? I'll just tell you the reason. Right? Because in stat audit, I'll just put it out here, exit options. You are gonna be doing work into Ind AS. आप Ind AS financial statements बना रहे हैं. You are doing tax audit, right? You are also working on IFC. I hope you are aware of IFC, internal financial control. A control testing is gonna be there. Plus, you also do an audit of numbers, right? So that is there. With this, you also do some certification work, right? So that is why a stat audit always offers the highest amount of exit when it comes to an exit options. Now, one thing which you guys have seen and heard, the people, those who are in a big fours or a top firms, the attrition rate of those companies are higher. Suna hai? I don't know how many of you have heard of it. कि people leave very easily and people एक साल में छोड़ दिया उसने तो XYZ firm में काम करने के बाद. You know the reason why? Because the exit options were higher. Right? Although different stories are there, let's not discuss it because we are sitting in a public forum. But yes, one of the reason is the exit options are always higher. Have you got it? Now, if I talk about a statutory audit in further detail, a stat audit, which is something which where you'll find a lot of vacancies these days, is going to be seen into an Indian firms and the global firms. So Indian firms, everyone is aware of. If you talk about the top 6 firms, EY, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, BDO, and Grant Thornton are there, which are going to be giving a good amount of a package if you're going to be going into a stat audit. Generally, the package ranges between 8 to 10 lakh for a CA fresher, which is something which I talk about, a fixed component. When it comes to a global firms are EY GDS. And if you want me to write it down, I'll just write out EY GDS, PwC SDC, Deloitte USA, and KGS. Right? These are the four global firms which are there. Generally, the package of a global firm will be higher as compared to the Indian firm. 1 or 2 lakh higher. The reason is these firms are earning in dollars, spending in rupees, because they are going to be billing their global companies, right? So generally the package in a global firm will be higher. Now the question is, should you start your career from a global firm or an Indian firm, right? कि Indian firm में जाए या global firm में जाए? Now understand one thing. Global firm is getting a work which is outsourced by some other entity of a global firm. मान लो EY US office is outsourcing a work to EY India GDS office. So generally, what type of work you outsource to someone? A work with a higher risk or a work with a lower risk? Chat पे बताएंगे. What type of work you outsource to someone? A work with a higher risk or a work with a lower risk? I am waiting for your answers in the chat box, especially for the people who are connected on YouTube. Right? A work with a higher risk or a work with a lower risk? बच्चे ने बोला, sir, a work with a lower risk. So you can understand that if a work with a lower risk is outsourced, that means you'll not be getting to audit a significant account. Are you getting it? What is a significant account? An account which is material and important, right? वो audit करने नहीं मिलेगा. That means exposure will be less. But yes, you are going to be interacting with the global clients, so that is something which is an edge. Okay. So this is something a bit of thin line of a difference, so which you need to decide what you want. I hope this is clear between you guys. Exit options, Indian, global firm, stat audit. Now, if you have worked in your articleship into a stat audit, but mostly when you go to a corporate or a bigger firms like Big Four or Big Six, the audit which happens in a Big Four is far more different as compared to the other firm. The reason is, how does the audit happens in top firms? Since I've done my articleship from EY, right, I can tell you how does the audit goes. I'll just tell you the process of an audit. क्या होता है इसमें? सबसे पहले you do your pre-planning. That means you see the independence, you check other stuff, you see the client background, So all these things are going to be checked here. Then you go for a planning, where you plan the materiality and all the stuff which is there. Then you go for a risk assessment, which is nothing but what is your IFC testing. I know the session might be technical for few of you guys, but yes, it's important to know. Then step 4 is your substantive testing, where you do a pure number crunching, जिसको आप कहते हैं TOD, right? Or substantive analytical procedures, which you have studied in audit. And then last step is your conclusion, where you give your audit report. So this is what a typical process goes when you're going to be going in an interview and when you're going into a big four, right? तो ये पूरा एक process रहेगा which you need to understand in a very detailed manner. If you want to understand in more detail about a stat audit, right? I have uploaded a lot of lectures on my YouTube on stat audit. I can take this topic for 30, 40 hours. I can speak on those topics which are there, right? So you can just check some of the lectures uploaded on YouTube. You'll get a better clarity on okay, what is stat audit. But this is what is the work which you're going to be doing, right? So let's move to the second concept, and that is an internal and forensic audit. Now, I'll ask you a very interesting question. Since internal audit is covered under Section 138 of a Companies Act, but internal auditor has a three major work, and that is understanding the processes, understanding the risk involved, and understanding the controls. Okay? Now understand one thing. Say, for example, let me just take an example. Don't worry, I'll share this notes with you guys in our WhatsApp group. So एकदम ही ज्यादा ये मत करना कि sir notes नहीं मिल रहे. अरे, we'll share everything with you guys. The session is for you, not for me. Now just imagine that, say for example, I'm the CFO of a company. Okay? And I decided to gift an iPhone to all of my companies. Okay? Can I do that? Can I do that? Yes or no? चैट पे बताइए. मैं सीएफओ हूँ कंपनी का और मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं सबको आईफोन गिफ्ट कर सकता हूँ. Yes or no? Now understand one thing. The question is incomplete. In interview, you need to be very smart enough to understand. भाई मेरी कंपनी है, सी अमाउंट है, मेरे को मेरे एम्प्लॉयज को देना है. आई एम द फाउंडर, आई कैन गिव इट. But when it comes to a public company or where the money of investors are involved, there you need to have a proper processes for it. Right? Imagine that it's a company called as a Reliance. Understand one thing, whenever you're going to be sitting in an interview, no question is complete. Or many times the questions will be incomplete. Just to giving you one more example. Okay. Interviewer will ask when you go to a treasury domain interview, they'll ask, if I give you my 100 crore of rupees, where you will invest my 100 crore of rupees? Bataiye answers in the chat box. If I give you my 100 crore of rupees, where you will invest my 100 crore of rupees? Now you guys are becoming smarter. Yes. Someone is saying depend on the risk appetite and depend on the time horizon. Depends on the risk appetite and depends on the time horizon. So you need to be very smart enough when you're sitting in an interview. You need to ask, "Hey, sir, किस duration के लिए, कितने duration के लिए you want to invest? And second, what is your risk appetite?" Don't rush into an answer saying that, "Oh, sir, government bond खरीद लो, mutual fund खरीद लो." नहीं. That is something which I want you to teach. And that is something which comes with experience. Now, the first thing, what is an internal audit? It talks about the processes. So imagine that I'm the CFO for Reliance. Can I gift an iPhone to all of my employees? No. I need to follow the proper processes which is there. I need to take a proper approval. Yes, I need to take it. Yes. After that is done, what are the risks involved in this process? Can anyone tell me कि इस process में risk क्या हो सकता है? If I get an approval also, ठीक है कि CFO for Reliance can gift an iPhone to all of their employees. Tell me the risk involved in this process. Anyone in the chat box? Let's see how smart you are. Let's see how smart you are. Someone is saying कि overbilling. Someone will say that कि Shivam sir will gift their employees, favorite employees. Right? So what is happening? If the risk is, what is there? Understand one thing. There's a process which needs to be followed when I'm gifting iPhone. Second, I need to see what are risks are involved. Say, for example, the risk is iPhone is gifted to their relatives or iPhone is gifted to their employees only. Now, how do I need to ensure that risk is mitigated? I need to check a control against it. Risk है, Shivam sir will gift an iPhone to their known people and employees. How I can address this? I need to have a proper performance report based on which the iPhone is gifted. So what as an internal auditor is going to be doing? You are going to be going to a company and going to be checking the process. You are going to a company and going to be checking the controls. And you are going to be checking ki, ha, bhai, are the controls working correctly or not? And if the controls are not working correctly, you also need to ask a management to correct it. And you also need to give a management a recommendation. Are you getting it? So what is important, right? I don't know how many of you have seen an internal audit report. Have you guys seen an internal audit report? कभी देखा है? Anyone here? Yes, no, no, yes. Do you guys want me to show an internal audit report? Start audit report is something I think which you guys have seen it. But internal audit report, which generally I know a lot of people have might not have seen it. देखा है नहीं देखा है नहीं देखा होगा generally. I know this. ठीक है तो let me just show it to you one of the internal audit report. How does a typical internal audit report looks like? ठीक है ध्यान से देखिएगा you'll get a better clarity. So this is one of the draft internal audit report of dummy company which we generally create in our master classes. So what happens is, say for example, whenever you start, you map this risk rating. Risk rating is very important when it comes to an internal auditing. तो जैसे हम मटेरियलिटी निकालते हैं ना यहाँ पर रिस्क रेटिंग चलता है. Say for example, if something is more than 10% of a turnover, you map it high risk, moderate risk, and low risk. And then you map all the processes which are there, depending on their issues, what are the issues, and based on that, you map with the risk which is there. And after that is done, whatever processes you audit. Say, for example, I went for a auditing of physical verification of 7 fixed assets were not found in the asset register amounting to 7 crore. So what we do, we go to management, ask him, bata bhai, why there is a reason of why there is a gap of 7 crore? Kahan gaya asset? Management explained that asset bearing ID was 3, 15, and 4 were disposed of. So this is what a management explanation is. Then we put a risk. Ki what are the potential misappropriation? The risk is potential misappropriation of asset. And then we go to a management saying that, acha. The management need to design a proper systems and processes for disposal and safeguard of an asset. So what we do, we give a recommendation. And we tell them, next time when we'll come to an audit, this is something which needs to be followed. So this is how the typical internal audit report goes. Can company have their own internal audit team, guys? क्या कंपनी खुद की इंटरनल ऑडिट टीम बना सकती है? Yes or no? Yes or no? The more you participate in today's session, you'll enjoy it. Right? That is why I want you to please participate. And how do you participate? By putting the answers in the chat box. Especially, I'm waiting for the answers for the people connected on YouTube Live. Can company have their internal audit team? The answer is yes. Okay, they can have their own internal audit team. Second question. Is it mandatory to have only chartered accountants in their internal audit team? No, right? Other than CS, we can also have an internal audit team. इंटरव्यू में पूछते हैं और प्री स्क्रीनिंग क्वेश्चन में पूछेंगे राइट व्हाई डू यू थिंक अ कंपनी विल हायर अ पीडब्ल्यूसी एज देयर इंटरनल ऑडिटर वेयर दे कैन आल्सो हैव देयर ओन इंटरनल ऑडिट टीम ये इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन था बाय द वे हैव यू गॉट द क्वेश्चन द क्वेश्चन वाज व्हाई डू यू थिंक रिलायंस विल हायर अ इंटरनल ऑडिट टीम फ्रॉम अ पीडब्ल्यूसी instead of they can also have their own internal audit team. Okay. So this type of questions are going to be asked, for which you need to be smart enough to answer it. Someone is saying experience. ठीक है हम पीडब्ल्यूसी के पार्टनर को उठा लेते हैं. आप कितना देते हो पीडब्ल्यूसी के पार्टनर को? यू पे 10 करोड़ ना, हम उसको 15 करोड़ दे रहे हैं. चलो तुम्हें क्या लगता है हम पैसा नहीं दे सकते? बिल्कुल दे सकते हैं. आपके पार्टनर को ही खरीद लिया हमने. राइट? कैन वी डू दैट? यस, बट स्टिल दे आर नॉट डूइंग इट. ठीक है, so you guys need to be smart enough to answer it. प्रोफेशनलिज्म बेटा, कोई प्रोफेशनलिज्म नहीं चलता यहाँ पे. ओ भाई when it comes to the business, भाई धंधा धंधा है. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. है ना? तो है ना, तो अगेन there is something which you need to cook a very good story, right, which is saying that कि again टीम तो खरीद लेंगे, but we don't have this AI tools, so again we need to invest in that AI tools and the technologies which are there. And that is why people generally don't have their internal audit team. You know? So the technologies, the team, the experience, the years of learning which is there, right? Partner को उठा लेंगे, but partner के साथ साथ they also need a lot of year of experience of a people out or a senior people out in the organization, right? Huge investments, manpower management, so all those things which you need to highlight when you're setting. Okay. Now, what is important here? This was an internal audit. I hope you guys understood what is an internal audit and how does it work. Is it clear, guys? What is an internal audit and how does it works? हाँ जी ना जी ना जी हाँ जी अरे प्लीज बता दो चैट पे आई होप द स्पीड इज ऑल्सो ओके यस परफेक्टली फाइन गॉट एंड व्हाट इज एन इंटरनल ऑडिट ठीक है सर नाउ थर्ड थिंग internal audit में whenever you're going to be going for any of the interviews which are there many a times you'll be asked a question related to the processes so they'll ask you a question related to P2P which is procure to pay H2R which is hire to retire O2C which is order to cash fixed assets cash and bank FSCP. What is FSCP? Financial Statement Closure Procedure, right? तो इस तरीके के आपको क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे जस्ट गिविंग अ ब्रीफ फॉर ऑल द प्रोसेसेस व्हाट इज P2P? Procuring a goods till payment of a goods मतलब purchase process. And now someone will start staring at me saying that sir my articleship did not taught me all this. मेरे बॉस ने बोला जाके वाउचर चेक कर मैंने कर लिया. I did not know what is P2P. Don't worry, things can be learned. Repeat, things can be learned. चीजें नहीं आती है तो चीजें सीखने का रोने का नहीं. Understand all this. Second is H2R. What is H2R? Hire to retire. From hiring of a person till he retires into the company, I need to know the entire process, which includes recruitment, which includes your firing of employees, everything. FNF settlement, everything. Mostly they focus on P2P and R2R, which is revenue to receipt. ठीक है ये दो प्रोसेस पे फोकस करेंगे. What is the revenue to receipt? It's a sales side of a company. How do you sell a product to a customer and how do you recover that money from a customer? Clear है? Similarly, one of the most interesting and a growing domain with the internal audit is a forensic audit. Chalo, I'll tell you one more story. FSCP is a financial statement closure procedure. That means books closure. कि books कैसे close होती है, accounting entries कैसे पड़ रही है on a last day on 31st March. Right? So that is there. Now let us move to the very interesting process and that is called as a forensic audit. You know, guys, in a Shark Tank season 1, we had our favorite judge. Anyone can guess who is not there in a season 2 and season 3? हमारे एक फेवरेट जज थे. हाँ. By the way, I want everyone of you, those are sitting here, especially on the Zoom, to keep their videos on, guys. I want to interact with you guys. I want to see how does the chartered accountant look like. मुझे वो चेहरे की एक मुस्कान देख के ना एनर्जी मिलती है सेशन में. I don't know why. Right? I feel so energetic. I'm delivering a session to a lot of chartered accountants. Right? Okay. हाँ, सब दोगले हैं. अच्छा, सब दोगले हैं. अच्छा नहीं बेटा, ऐसा नहीं बेटा. हाँ, ये है अश्नीर ग्रोवर. ठीक है. हाँ, इसने गलत जगह लिख दिया वरुण गुप्ता जी ने. नहीं बेटा, मैं आप लोग को नहीं बोल रहा था, इन्होंने लिखा था, वो मैंने पढ़ा. ठीक है. The guy named Ashneer Grover was there in a season 1, but he was not there in the season 2. What happened? Very important story which is going to be changing your thought process. What happened, guys? Anyone knows? He was working with a Bharat Pay and it was found out that he's using the company's money for his personal purpose. No, Kotak Mahindra was a scam when it comes. When things happen bad, right? So everything goes around. So it was found out that Ashneer Grover was using a company's money for this personal purpose. So what happened? Bharat Pay hired people like you. Who are you? You are a forensic auditor. They invited a people like you and they said that please audit the company. Okay. So what you did, you audited a company and you found out some things which were there. And I don't know how many of you are aware of. A few days back, Ashneer Grover was moving outside the India and he was stopped to leave the country. Pata hai ki nahi pata hai? Yes, no? So that is also the case which is there. Now, what has happened? The people like you who have issued a forensic audit report has said that there's something fraud which is happening. And Ashneer Grover was fired from a company. He was removed from a Shark Tank. देखा हमने सबने? Yes. Now, one important thing which you guys need to also see, I'll ask you one simple question. Don't take it otherwise. How many of you still love Ashneer Grover or feel like यार ये बंदा बड़ा मजेदार है? Yes or no in the chat. है ना? If you feel it, just me. You can just write me in the chat box. है ना? Someone is saying I love him. I want to marry him. नहीं बेटा इतना भी emotion नहीं लाना है बेटा. Control your emotion बेटा. हाँ. कोई कह रहा है वो टाइम पास इंसान है, नहीं बेटा ऐसे नहीं बोलते बेटा। गोली बेटा, मस्ती नहीं। हाँ, श्रुति जी कह रही है यस यस यस, आई लाइक हिम। ओके बेटा श्रुति जी, ठीक है बेटा, है ना। आई होप योर फैमिली इज नॉट वाचिंग दिस सेशन, बट ठीक है, जस्ट एज्यूम दैट लॉट ऑफ पीपल लाइक हिम। यू नो व्हाई? You know why a lot of people like him? Because he communicate in a such a way that people feel like it's a fun. One thing which you guys need to learn is the power of communication. Right? How do you deliver your story? Even if the story is not in your favor, I'm not against anyone, but it's all about delivering your story in such a way that people feel like, oh my God, he's a nice guy. And people will still believe him. What is important is learning the art of communication. Understand one thing, and this is something which you guys need to learn when you become a CFO or a partner of some good companies, because people love to listen a good communicator. People don't care about your education background. People care about how do you deliver the things. I do agree on this. है ना? So now what is important? Important is forensic audit. What is happening in a forensic audit? You go and audit the companies and you give some forensic report saying that what all things are there. But understand one thing, many a times a forensic report also goes with a legal opinion. ध्यान से सुनिए, a forensic report will always go with a legal opinion. Why? Imagine that a Ashneer grower has done a fraud in Bharat Pay. Do you think a Bharat Pay will need a legal opinion on that? कि क्या करना है अब? Yes. तो ये side by side business चलता है. A forensic always goes parallel with a legal. So nowadays, a sad thing and a good thing, legal firms have also started doing a forensic audit. That means lawyers have also started doing a forensic audit. Am I getting it? So nowadays, lawyer firm will also start hiring people like you because they are not good at numbers. Lawyers को थोड़ी आता है Excel में भी lookup लगाते, ठीक है? You guys are the one those who know how to put a pivot table and VLOOKUP and find out a fraud, right? So what is something which you'll see is there is forensic audit is a growing domain because nowadays every second companies are doing a fraud if the controls are not there proper. I generally ask this question to students. Do you think every company is doing a fraud? Do you think every company is doing a fraud? क्या सब कंपनी चोर है? हाँ, शिवानी गुप्ता कह रही है हाँ ना बेटा ना, इमोशन कंट्रोल करें शिवानी गुप्ता जी. No, all the companies are not fraud. All the companies are not doing a fraud. But if the controls are not good into a company, can all the companies do a fraud? Yes. So what is important? Implementing of a control. Who will check the control? Internal auditor will check the control. Even if the control are there, still people are doing a fraud. Who will check it? You guys, forensic auditors. Understand one thing. Internal auditor, forensic auditor. ध्यान से सुनिए, internal auditor, forensic auditor, statutory auditor, due diligence, FDD, financial due diligence, for which I'll come to it in a while. यहाँ तक क्लियर है, राइट? स्टैट ऑडिट क्या होता है, इंटरनल ऑडिट क्या होता है, फॉरेंसिक क्या होता है? दिस थ्री थिंग्स आर क्लियर. 1 2 3. हाँ जी, ना जी, ना जी, हाँ जी. आई होप यू गाइस आर एंजॉयिंग द सेशन. यार कुछ तो बोलो यार, बोलते ही नहीं, है ना? कुछ लोग तो ऐसे देख रहे हैं मुझे, राइट? फ्यू पीपल आर वाचिंग मी लाइक दिस, लाइक बोल तू बोल, अच्छा बोल रहा है, नालायक उठ के बैठ और नोट्स बना. यू आर डिसाइडिंग योर करियर, राइट? यू आर डिसाइडिंग योर करियर. उठ जाओ उठ जाओ, जागो ग्राहक जागो. ठीक है, चलो ग्रेट. Let's move forward. So I want you guys to also please share this session with your friends, right? Because I don't want to decide and go into the wrong domain of their career choices because they don't know, right? मैं जब सीए बना था मुझे तो सच में नहीं पता था कि फोरेंसिक ऑडिटर की इतनी पावर रहती है. And I think many of you even don't know that they'll get the moment called as a awe moment. Don't worry, the awe moment is yet to come when we'll start discussing about investment banking. सच्ची बता रहा हूँ, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग का जब सेशन अभी थोड़ी देर में चालू होगा ना, you'll feel like ये भी होता है ना? तो all moment is yet to come, don't worry. ठीक है, तो that is done about a forensic audit. Let's move forward, and that is, let's discuss management consulting first, then we'll move to investment banking. Okay? Because the next is due diligence, so I need to cover due diligence with the investment banking. Now, what is a management consulting, guys? Management consulting is defined into three words: problem solving for top management at a faster speed is a management consulting. Let me take you a simple example. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Few days back, a government has rolled out a regulation on hit and run. पता है हिट एंड रन का एक लॉ आया था. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, which says that if any of the driver hit a person and if the driver don't stay there and run away, he need to, हाँ, उसको उसको क्या कितने साल का जेल हो जाएगा? 10 years, राइट? एंड नीड टू पे 7 लाख रुपीज, ऐसा कुछ तो रूल आया था, राइट? व्हाट हैज हैपेंड? देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ जाम एवरीवेयर. लोगों ने ट्रक जाम कर दिया एंड व्हाट नॉट, द पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट. नाउ लेट अस डिस्कस दिस. डू यू थिंक दिस प्रॉब्लम नीड टू बी सॉल्व्ड एट अ एमएलए और एमपी लेवल? क्या एमएलए और एमपी लोग इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं क्या? इल्ले, नो. हु नीड टू सॉल्व इट? अ पर्सन सिटिंग एट द टॉप, राइट? द पर्सन सिटिंग एट द टॉप, है ना, जैसे कि अमित शाह वगैरह, बिकॉज दे हैव रोल्ड आउट, दे हैव ब्रिंग्ड इट आउट, है ना? तो हु नीड टू सॉल्व इट? द पर्सन पीपल हु आर सिटिंग ऑन द टॉप. डू यू थिंक दिस नीड्स टू बी सॉल्व एट अ फास्टर पेस, या धीरे धीरे चलने दे? आज जाम है, देखते हैं 10 दिन बाद खोलेंगे, 10 दिन बाद डिसाइड करेंगे. नो, राइट? दैट कैन नॉट हैपन. दैट नीड टू बी सॉल्व एट अ वेरी फास्टर पेस, right? And do you think it's a bigger problem? Yes. So whenever this three situation comes, if the problem is there, if that problem needs to be solved by top management, and that problem needs to be solved at a faster pace, that goes to a pure case of a management consulting. So what Modi government will do, they'll go to a management consultant like MBBs. I hope you know MBBs. McKinsey, Bain and BCGs. These are the top management consulting firms. जैसे Big Four होते हैं ना, वैसे in consulting MBBs are there. McKinsey, Bain and BCG. So this company will go to MBBs and they'll say that, "Bata bhai, how we can solve it." This is a pure case of a concept. One more example. छोटा सा example देता हूँ, which you can relate it in a better way. Uh, how many of you have, ठीक है, using, or how many of you are using, or how many of you have purchased a SIM of a Jio? Honestly बोलना, बबीता जी की कसम है आपको. ठीक है, बबीता कौन? तारक मेहता वाली जेठालाल की क्रश. ठीक है, अगर बबीता जी को कुछ हुआ तो उसके जिम्मेदार आप है. ठीक है. How many of you have purchased a Jio SIM because it was offering a free internet? है ना? How many of you have purchased a Jio का SIM earlier, 6, 7 years, 8 years ago, because it was offering a free internet? जो लोग नो लिख रहे हैं ना बेटा, तुम लोग बबीता जी को गाली दे रहे हो. I know you guys have purchased it because it was offering a free internet. You know what happened 6 years ago or 7 years ago? This story happened with me. I was sitting in my hostel. A friend comes to me saying that, "Shivam, internet free hai." I was shocked. He says, "Jio aa gaya." I said, "What is this?" He says, "Go and purchase the SIM of a Jio." I went to go and purchase the SIM of a Jio. Jio वाला पता है क्या बोला मुझे? कि डब्बा फोन में नहीं चलेगा सर, स्मार्टफोन लेके आओ. ठीक है. Then I bought a smartphone and then I put a SIM of a Jio and started using Jio SIM. But ध्यान से सुनिए, how the consulting case. Vodafone Idea, Airtel started losing their customer and all the customers went to Jio. Agree? Yes. What is happening? Do you think it's a problem statement? Yes. Do you think Vodafone Idea and Airtel needs to solve it at a faster pace? Yes. Do you think who will solve it? The guy who's selling the SIM? No. The guy who's sitting on the top. Yes. So what is that? This is a pure case of a consulting. Okay. Now the problem with a lot of consulting is people don't believe they have a problem. कंसल्टिंग में एक सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत ये है, क्लाइंट को कभी लगता नहीं कि उसको प्रॉब्लम है, बट उनके पास प्रॉब्लम है. जैसे कि लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल वेयर Say, for example, a company have a 200 crore of rupees, but company never feels like they have a problem. But imagine that if I tell to the company, you can invest just 200 crore of rupees and you can mint a good money, or they can invest into some plants or something sort of thing, they'll grow their venture. Sort of example. If you come to me saying that, sir, you are mainly involved into training and placements. Why don't you bring this program for ACCA, CPA, and MBAs? Problem hai. But if you come to me and tell to me that saying that this can be solved, right? I'm ready to pay whatever amount you say. So what is the problem in consulting? It's reverse way. What is the reverse way? कि सामने वाले को बताना पड़ता है कि प्रॉब्लम है. देखो, audit is mandatory, right? Internal audit is again one of the mandatory because given by section 138. But consulting is reverse. Where you need to tell to the people, देख भाई तेरे को दिक्कत है. Are you getting it? So consulting business is completely different as compared to the auditing business. जैसे कि many times this happens, right? Many of the people feel like after I'm CA, I know everything about interviews and stuff. But later on, when they don't get into good firms, फिर उनको लगता है अरे यार पढ़ लेना था. It's a pure case of a consulting. So you need to guide them. That is why we are here. ठीक है? So same thing, right? So consulting have a very bigger problem. है ना? So that is something which you need to do. Now, one thing which you need to know when you go to a consulting. Consulting, they will not ask you what are the 5-step model of India's 115. I have to remember the 5-step model of India's 115. Mansi gave me a very weird look saying that, ये क्या 115 पूछ रहा है? बेटा, India's 115. हाँ, 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 हाँ. हाँ. So consulting is purely based on a case study. First thing. And second thing, in consulting, you need to ensure that you're preparing for a case study which is there. So the interview prep for a consulting is far more different as compared to the other domain because I'll just give you an interview question for a consulting. Count the number of potholes in the road of Mumbai. मुंबई की सड़कों में कितने गड्ढे हैं बताइए. It's a consulting interview question, which requires a different preparation altogether. So which is something which is there for which we can have a detailed session, and already I've like taken a lot of sessions on my YouTube. Just need to scroll my YouTube channel. Okay, so that is something which is there which you need to do it out. Okay. So that is what a consulting is. I hope you got an idea what a consulting is. Okay, and how does it works? Now understand one thing. If a Modi government is going to a consultant saying that tell me how we can solve this problem, a consultant can charge whatever money he wants to do. A consultant can charge whatever money he wants to do because they are solving a problem. Am I getting it? Clear hai? Okay. Now let us move to the one of the most interesting domain, and that is investment banking. IB. Let me ask you a simple question. What is the one thing which comes to your mind when I say investment banking, guys? आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है जब अगर मैं IB की बात करता हूं तो? In the chat box, please. In the chat box, please. अच्छा, कोई कह रहा है डोकोमो और एयरसेल को RIP. कोई बात नहीं बेटा. I still remember in my hostel, lot of students and the guys have generally bought out a Uninor का सिम. और उस यूनिनॉर में कुछ लड़के लोग नाइट पैक का रिचार्ज करते थे. मुझे आज तक कभी समझ में नहीं आया व्हाई दैट गाइस यूज्ड टू डू अ नाइट पैक का रिचार्ज. ठीक है. हाँ, कुछ लड़के लोग हंस रहे हैं. I can understand from their smile what they are thinking. ठीक है. So that were the days, right? जहाँ पे I think free calling होता था, and Reliance CDMA was there, GSM was there, and all what not was there. ठीक है. ठीक है. Now, so I asked you, what is the one thing which comes to your mind when I say investment banking? Someone is saying mergers and acquisition. Someone is saying Credit Suisse. Okay, someone is saying money. Someone is saying relationship manager. I don't know what relationship manager you're talking about, Rathod ji. है ना? Credit Suisse, a person who brings the two parties together and help them out for the benefit. Okay. Fund management, M&A. Okay. Money and travel and work. Oh my God. Mansi ji is getting emotional. BlackRock. Okay. IPO. Now let us understand what are the top investment banking firms. If you could see the names which are there, these are the top investment banking firms. And these firms are called as bulge bracket firm. Right? Bulge bracket. Bulge bracket का मतलब होता है बड़ी firms. Second type of firms which are there, which are called as a boutique firms. So many times you go to the market and you'll hear it out. What are the bulge bracket in a boutique firm? Boutique मतलब होती है छोटी. Bulge means bigger. So if you could see the list of the firms which are there on the screen, these are the bulge bracket firms. Now, before I explain you the concept of investment banking, let me ask you one favorite question, and that is, how many of you have heard about Shadi.com? Yes, no, yes. I think every one of you have heard about Anupam ji and Shadi.com. सबने सुना है? It's the same way how does an investment banking firm works. Okay. Now let us understand how does the Shadi.com works, because it will help you to understand how does an investment banking firm works. Okay. पर स्क्रीन क्यों अटक गई भाई? हाँ. Let us understand how does the Shadi.com works. Right? Shadi.com works in a very funny way. A boy needs a girl needs a boy. Right? A boy goes to Shadi.com, a girl goes to Shadi.com. Right? They both create their account. They would interact with each other. If they are happy with each other, they'll marry happily with each other. If they are not happy with each other, they'll not marry happily with each other. This is how the Shadi.com works. What is Shadi.com doing? That it is going to be acting as an intermediary between the two people. Agree? Now, one simple question. When do you call a Shadi.com as a successful portal? When do you call a Shadi.com as a successful portal? A few people are getting blush. And it's a concept which you need to understand. Huh? Nalak, where someone is saying, and both of them will have a kids. No. When both of them marry happily with each other, Shadi.com is called as a successful portal. In a similar way, investment banking firm works. Okay. Now let us assume that, ध्यान से सुनिएगा. It's a very important case study. Guys, assume that अपना फोटो यहाँ पे इमेजिन करो, लड़कियां लोग अपना फोटो इमेजिन करें. डोंट गेट इमोशनल कि इस लड़की का फोटो क्यों रखा. ठीक है, कंट्रोल. नाउ इमेजिन दैट दिस इज यू. ठीक है. एंड ऑल्सो इमेजिन दैट यू हैव 100 crore of rupees. ठीक है. इमेजिन दैट यू हैव 100 crore rupees and this is you. I'll ask you a simple question, guys. What you will do if you have 100 crore of rupees? आप लोग क्या करोगे अगर आपके पास 100 करोड़ रुपए रहेंगे? तो चैट पे बताएंगे. What you will do? श्रेया गुप्ता कह रही है सक्सेसफुल मैरिज करूंगी मैं. अरे बेटा कंट्रोल. हाँ. ठीक है. हाँ. Lot of people are saying, sir, we will invest the money. Sir, if I have my 100 crore of rupees, I will invest the money. Now, similarly, Mukesh Ambani have 100 crore of rupees. Adani have 100 crore of rupees. Do you think Mukesh Ambani will open a Zerodha account every day and will go and take a trade? कि मैं इसके टाटा के शेयर खरीद लेता हूँ, इसके शेयर खरीद लेता हूँ. Do you think Ambani will do that? No, right? So what do these people do? These people go to an investment banking firm, right? These people go to an investment banking firm and say that, hey, investment banking firm, please help me invest my money. If you guys want to draw it, you can always draw it out. So what these guys will do, these guys will go to an investment banking firm and will say that, please help me invest my money. Now imagine that your favorite company, wants to raise a fund. Which is your favorite company, guys? Let me assume your favorite company is CMO. क्या हंसते रहे तुम लोग? है ना? Imagine that your favorite company wants to expand their venture. And your favorite company wants 100 crore ka funding. Since we have decided to expand our venture, we decided to have a funding of 100 crore of rupees. Okay. Now, what I can do, understand one thing. I can just stand in a road and start shouting, 100 crore de do, 100 crore de do. Can I do that? Can I stand up in a road and start shouting it? ऐसे मैं चिल्ला सकता हूँ क्या? हाँ. Right. I can do it, but people will not give me money. People will call me fool after if I do this. Right. So what I need to do, understand one thing. I need to go to a firm or a places from where I can get the money. And I go to an investment banking firm. Just a second, waiting for the screen to load. So what I did, I went to an investment banking firm and told to them, कि भाई, please help me get 100 crore of rupees. Right? Please help me get 100 crore of rupees. Now, what I will give to a person who will invest 100 crore at CMO, I'll give them a equity. I can also give them a debt or again multiple things which are there. But what I'm ready to do, ध्यान से सुनेंगे, I'm ready to sell the shares of CMO. Whereas you who are sitting here, what you're doing, you're ready to buy the shares of CMO. That means I am sitting on the sell side, and that also means you're sitting on the buy side. This is a very important concept of investment banking. A sell side concept and a buy side concept. Now, what JP Morgan is doing, JP Morgan is helping a 2% to connect between, and this person is going to be ensuring, as and when the deal happen, they're going to be charging some percentage of commission between two people out. जैसे ही डील होगी जेपी मॉर्गन बोलेगा कि भाई मुझे मेरा कमीशन दो. So imagine that JP Morgan charges 2% of a commission. So what is that 2% of 100 crore guys? 2 crore rupees. सिर्फ पैसा ट्रांसफर करवाने के 2 करोड़ रुपए ले लिए जेपी मॉर्गन ने. Are you getting it? This is one of the work, work of investment banking firm, a small work जो investment banking firm करवाता है. I hope this is clear to you. One of the work. Now, understand one more thing. Since JP Morgan is going to be helping me to ensure this deal happens, but I will ask you a question. If I start asking you, please give me the 100 crore of rupees which you have, will you give it to me like this only, or what you will check some things before you're going to be investing, guys? क्या आप मुझे ऐसे ही दे दोगे अपने 100 crore रुपए, guys? Or you will check something? Of course, you wanted to see the background of a person. Just taking an example. Just taking the same example above, which I've discussed. अगर लड़के को लड़की से शादी करना है या लड़की को लड़के से शादी करना है, लड़की लड़के का बैकग्राउंड चेक करवाती है ना, या लड़का लड़की का बैकग्राउंड चेक करवाएगा ना. In a similar way, whenever any of the deals happen, what you will do a due diligence. And how do you do a due diligence? You check the numbers of the company. But audit report to hai na. Now understand one thing. I'll tell you one thing which will change your mind and which will help you to understand why due diligence is important. Okay. I'll give you a very good example which will make you understand why due diligence is very, very important. Okay. Just a second. Aaja bhai. My iPad is running slow. Huh? Now, let me take an example. Sales of a company, 100 crores. Cost, COGS, cost of goods sold. Say, for example, 30 crores. You will get a gross profit, 70 crores. Salary is, say, for example, 30 crores. Other expenses, 20 crore. Net profit, EBITDA, earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. अरे कुछ दिख ही नहीं रहा है क्या स्क्रीन में? अरे यार, earning before interest. Let me just put a wire. एक सेकंड लीजिए प्लीज. So sorry. मैंने इतना सारा लिख लिया स्क्रीन में, पता पड़ा दिखा ही नहीं कुछ. वाह. Now it's visible, right? और EBITDA is 20 crores. ठीक है. Now have you heard of Shark Tank? Shark Tank देखा है? Shark Tank में बोलता है Shark कि the valuation of a company is 10x multiple of EBITDA. What is the valuation of this company? 200 crores. Have you heard this in Shark Tank? सुना है ना? 10x multiple लगा दिया and valuation हो गया. Now, ये ऑडिटर ने किया. Now, since I was a CFO of a company, मैंने क्या किया? I came to know that Solomon is a guy who's working with my company and who is a key managerial person in my company, but his salary was 5 crores. So I decided to fire him. Solomon, don't take it otherwise. I decided to fire him. So my salary cost become 25 crores and my EBITDA becomes 25 crore. Now let us take a 10x multiple. My 10x multiple makes my valuation as 250 crore. So firing a Solomon helps me to increase my valuation by 50 crores. Do you think an auditor in an audit report will mention that he has fired a key managerial person or something. नहीं, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में सब नहीं आएगा. ऑडिटर को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But this is going to be very important when it comes to a due diligence. So what is something which you check in a due diligence? There are three important things which you check. Although I'm not going into very much technical, otherwise you feel like ये भारी हो गया session. But why due diligence is important is clear to you, right? Because you get to see a real picture. You get to see a true financial health of a company, right? And that is something which is needed when you are doing a due diligence of a company. So what is an investment banking? Investment banking is helping the people out to ensure that they get a proper funds. But again, investment banking have a lot of areas like you'll heard of venture capitalist, you'll hear about equity research domain, you'll hear about a fund accounting profile, you'll hear about a product control profile. बहुत बड़ा एक pool है which is there for which I take a 3-4 hours of a session on investment banking itself. Okay, but abhi I cannot explain you in very detail because of a shortage of a time. But yes, this is what a basic of a investment banking is. Okay. So I've got a clarity on investment banking. Again, it's further divided into three: mid office, back office, and front office. You need to understand how does the front office work, how does the mid office work, how does the back office work. Now again, इसमें equity research क्या होता है? All those things are there. But again, because of a shortage of time, we cannot cover everything. But yes, this is something which you need to know. What does investment banking is all about? How does a FDD is playing a very important role when it comes to it. Now, I told you one thing: stat audit, FDD, internal audit, forensics. मतलब कि if you're going into FDD, the package is of course going to be higher. If you're going to forensics, the package is of course going to be higher as compared to stat and internal. Clear है? Right? Forensics में generally people are not hired as an article, but you will find a lot of vacancies happening on FTD. Now, since CMONC is working a lot of things for you guys every day, right? So what we are doing, we are also having a session with EY on forensics as well, and as well as on FDD. मतलब कि this is called as a pre-placement talk which is happening. है ना? ध्यान से देखिए, एक important चीज बता रहा हूँ which you guys, if you miss out, it's your loss. Recording नहीं मिलेगा. नारायण हेल्थ केयर का कल प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक है. आ जाना सहपरिवार अपने बीवी बच्चों को लेके, मतलब दोस्त भाइयों को लेके, of course. Bring your friends along because the recording of the session will be never given to you. It's a live session which you need to join in, and of course there is going to be limit on the sit which is there. So it's going to be over a Zoom. Recording kahin nahi milega. After this session is done, we'll roll out a Google form for the people those who are interested in applying there. And once that is done, your interviews are going to be scheduled. Journey started. But of course, it's not going to be happening in a one day. It will take a 1 week or 2 weeks of a time which is there for which you have still a time to prepare. I hope it is clear to you. Narayana का 13th को है. I don't know how many of you have heard of a company called as a Misho. इसके साथ साथ हमारा GR का pre kick-off session है. For the people those who have registered and for the people those who don't know how to prepare and still wanted to get into good companies, we have a pre-kickoff session on 13th for GIR. We are also planning to have a largest networking event for November 23 CS. Our target is 1,000 students, right? So 14th ko we have one of the largest networking event. Request you to please join in. 16th ko we have a pre-placement talk of a Misho. I hope you heard the company name as a Misho, right? If you miss out, gone. Recording nahi milega. मैं फिर भी बोल रहा हूँ. Right? Every day you will find a lot of companies are going to be coming to CMONC portal to have a pre-placement talk. Then we have a pre-placement talk of a Wipro. Right? Wipro ka pre-placement talk hoga within next week. I'm telling you out. That means on 27th ke aspas you will have an aptitude test for a Wipro. Then you have a extempore round hota unka. Okay? That is there. And then you have a personal interviews. So this is going to be there. Then you have a strategic and transaction. That is nothing but SDD. तो स्ट्रेटेजी एंड ट्रांजैक्शन इज अ बिगर फील्ड. उसके अंदर एक छोटा सा डोमेन आता है एफडीडी. तो दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज ऑन 18th. ईवाई का फॉरेंसिक्स का प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक इज ऑन व्हिच डेट 19th. ऐसे बहुत सारे इवेंट्स है. दिस टाइम वी आर टारगेटिंग टू हैव 100+ प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक्स टिल फरवरी. लास्ट टाइम वी हैव कंप्लीटेड अराउंड 30 अराउंड प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक्स ज्यादा है. ठीक है, तो प्लीज रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज ऑल्सो शेयर दिस विथ योर फ्रेंड्स बिकॉज इफ दे मिस आउट इट्स गॉन. एक बार नारायणा का वैकेंसी आ गया, इंटरव्यूज हो गए, फिर थोड़ी किसी को सिलेक्ट करेंगे, वो देखेंगे भी नहीं आपकी तरफ. ठीक है, फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकंड, तो फर्स्ट अटेंड योर. सेकंड, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इज प्रिपेयर. ठीक है, आई विल जस्ट शेयर दिस लिंक विद दिस व्हिच इज देयर. आल्सो यू कैन जॉइन द व्हाट्सएप कम्युनिटी ग्रुप फ्रॉम हियर. so that you don't miss out any of the important update. The page is mentorship.cmong.com/events. What do you mean by pre-placement talk? Pre-placement talk means a company comes and tell them why you should join Narayana Healthcare. जैसे मीशो वाले आएंगे तो बोलेंगे why you should join Meesho. What is the growth trajectory in a Meesho? Right? Why Meesho is different from others? Meesho में आपका career growth क्या रहेगा, है ना? Roles क्या available है? Packages क्या देंगे? So this is a concept which is there in a B school. That is something which we have brought it out for CA students. Right? ये concept हमने यहाँ पे introduce किया है 3-4 साल से. So that is something which you guys can go and do it out. Please attend it because एक बार चला गया so it will never come back and then you'll have one thing and that is a regret. Okay, that is one. Second important thing which is there, you know, and that is of course which I was talking about is your interview prep. If you want to prepare well, just 15th से batch चालू हो रहा है. Everything for your interview prep is going to be taken care of. Leave all your interview stress and worries to us. Batch चालू हो रहा है 15th से, राइट? मैंने एक चीज बोला था, बैच हो जाएगा फुल, आफ्टरनून वाला हो गया है फुल, अब बचा है मॉर्निंग और इवनिंग. ठीक है, मेरे हिसाब से अभी इवनिंग वाला भी भर जाएगा थोड़े दिन में, मतलब आज कल तक मुझे लग रहा है इट्स गोना बी फुल. ठीक है, फिर आपके पास मॉर्निंग स्लॉट ही बचेगा. तो इफ यू हैव नॉट रजिस्टर्ड प्लीज डू इट. ठीक है, तो दैट इज देयर बिकॉज वी डोंट वांट यू टू लीव योर इंटरव्यू प्रेप टू समवन समथिंग एल्स. If you want to know what is going to be happening, you can just check this video as well. I'll share the link of the batch as well so that you can, if you're interested, you can register for it. ठीक है, ये मेरा सेशन जो है डोमेन वाइज गाइडेंस सेशन अभी तो सिर्फ 1 घंटे में हो रहा है. इन GIR वी हैव द सेम सेशन फॉर 15 आवर्स. डोमेन गाइडेंस सेशन 15 घंटे चलता है, 15 घंटे. Where we teach you everything practically and then after 20 hours के lectures for that domain to prepare. मतलब 20 + 15 is 35 hours के approximately आपको preparation करवाया जाएगा so that you are prepared for everything from zero. And the time you sit in an interview, you have one thing and that is you are selected. ठीक है, उस लेवल का प्रिपरेशन करवा रहे हैं. दैट इज देयर नाउ. हाँ, कुछ कुछ बच्चे ऐसे भी दिमाग लगाते हैं कि फ्री में इतना सिखा रहे हैं तो पैसे लेके क्या क्या सिखाएंगे. बस सही सोच रहे हो. ठीक है, so that is also which you can put it out as a thought process which is there. ठीक है, चलो, so let us move forward with the discussion. So FDD is clear, right? And investment banking is also clear to you guys. Now let us move to a taxation domain. In taxation domain, you have a lot of vacancies coming these days, but taxation domain generally are divided into three: direct tax and transfer pricing, IDT, and taxation is generally into three parts, which is compliances, advisory, and mitigation. But in direct taxation, you'll find a lot of vacancies happening in CIT, which is majorly which you'll find it out, which is corporate and international tax. Second is M&A tax, which is a growing domain, and we'll find out a lot of vacancies these days nowadays. So M&A tax में कुछ vacancies हैं, which is there, but of course this requires a good preparations because M&A tax में package generally ज़्यादा रहेगा as compared to CIT, right? And it will also give you an exit into the investment banking domain. That is there. A person from a start audit can also go into M&A tax, provided he is having a good exposure of a taxation, मतलब a good knowledge of a taxation. Third, nowadays you'll also hear a lot of hirings are happening into a FS tax. What is FS tax? FS tax is something like you especially have done a work related to some NBFCs, mutual fund houses, some bankings, right, or investment banking firm. So वहाँ पे you'll have FS tax. And fourth is a GMS. What is GMS? Sitting in India, doing a tax work for outside India, similar like a global firm. So this is what a GMS. GMS is Global Mobility Services. ये 4 major areas आपको मिलेंगे. IDT में people are aware of GST, customs, and FTP. Right? This is a majorly work you do in taxation domain. Next, valuation. Generally, I put a valuation under the same funnel of IB, right? Because a lot of big fours are involved here, right? Either it can be a valuation of asset, valuation of a transaction, valuation of a goodwill, right? So a lot of big fours are there, but this is again one of the work which I put it under a funnel of IB, which is there. Because whenever you purchase any of the company or whenever the equities are given, क्या होता है? Valuation ही तो हो रहा है. Process समझो. Due diligence होगा, based on due diligence number which is there, or based on the due diligence which is done, we'll do a valuation of a company. अच्छा, पता पड़ गया कि CMONG का ड्यू डिलिजेंस सब कुछ सही है, उस ड्यू डिलिजेंस के बाद मैं कराऊंगा वैल्यूएशन. ठीक है, तो वैल्यूएशन इज वन ऑफ द स्टेप वेयर यू गाइस कैन आल्सो गेट इनटू एंड यू कैन बिल्ड योर करियर इनटू. तो दैट इज दैट. And then some other services where a lot of CAs are also hired these days. The other services like SAP consulting, right? Fundraising, project finance, IBC, ये सब areas भी work कर रहे हैं. So these are the CA core services which you guys are doing or which you guys can get into. First is pure auditing, second is due diligence, third is the taxation work, fourth is evaluation, and then other services. I've also covered the consulting in a very good way so that you understood it. What is consulting? The consulting we cover. Okay. Next, a lot of hirings are also going into a banking domain nowadays, guys. You'll hear ICICI Bank is coming to a campus, Axis Bank is coming to a campus, HDFC Bank is going to be coming to a campus. Why? Because a lot of hiring for a chartered accountant is also done into a campus for a banking domain. अब banking domain में क्या work होता है? Majorly two work, relationship manager and a credit manager. What is relationship manager? Relationship manager नाम से समझ रहा है रिश्ता बनाना है. You need to maintain the relationship and bring a business. You need to maintain the relationship and bring a business. That is the role of a relationship manager. And what is the role of a credit manager? Whatever the business have been brought by a relationship manager, he need to check the credit worthiness of a client कि इसको लोन दे के नहीं दे. Simple example देता हूँ. CMO wanted 100 crore of rupees. Yes. I was looking for the people who can give me 100 crore of rupees. Yes, sir. ICICI Bank came to know that CMO is looking for 100 crore of rupees. ICICI Bank called me saying that Shivam sir, आपको 100 crore चाहिए? I said, हाँ. ICICI Bank said, हम आपको देंगे. Right? ये कौन किया? Relationship manager has brought a business. ठीक है? But now I said that चल दे 100 crore रुपए. So do you think a credit manager will ask me कि चलो sir share your projected financials? Yes. Do you think a credit manager will say that give us some collateral? Yes. So what is the role of a credit manager? Whatever the business have been brought by a relationship manager, guy, a credit manager will validate it. I'll be getting it. Relationship manager, credit manager. Okay, that is there. Next, of course, is a corporate function where you can go to a industry, which is nothing but what is your pure finance function, where you go to an industry, where you can work as a part of accounts receivable team, accounts payable team, business finance team, right? Treasury team. That is there. That is something which you can just do it. ठीक है. कॉर्पोरेट पे भी मैं बहुत डिटेल में डिस्कस कर सकता हूँ, राइट? अभी मैं उतना डिटेल में डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा बिकॉज आई नो ना कुछ लोग का फिर अभी फ्यूज उड़ जाएगा, ये लाइक भाई क्या चल रहा है, इतना सारा काम कर सकते हैं हम लोग. हाँ कर सकते हैं, राइट? मेरा फाइनेंस पे 1 घंटे का लेक्चर भी डला हुआ यूट्यूब पे कि व्हाट इज अ फाइनेंस फंक्शन एंड व्हाट ऑल रोल्स यू कैन डू एज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ फाइनेंस फंक्शन. इतने सारे हम काम कर सकते हैं इफ यू आर गोइंग टू बी गोइंग इनटू अ फाइनेंस फंक्शन व्हिच इज देयर. And similarly, you can also join some of the startups which are there. You can do your own startups. Plus, इसके साथ साथ a lot of offbeat track which is there. Say, for example, you can go to public policy. You can be a part of arts. You can be a teacher. You can be a social service, right? Social sector में जा सकते हैं NGOs में and stuff, right? Or you can also become nowadays influencer का बहुत trend चल रहा है. So you can also become an influencer which is there. ठीक है? तो ये सब चीजें you can do. Just to summarize, what all career options are available? ठीक है? First, you can be a part of auditing. Summarize कर लेते हैं so that you do not miss out. Auditing में stat auditor, internal auditor and forensic auditor हमने बहुत बढ़िया से समझा. Then we understood what is FDD, why it is important. Then of course the taxation domain work is available where you can join direct tax and indirect tax transfer pricing. A lot of valuation work is there which you can be a part of it. Plus इसके साथ साथ you can be a part of some other core services like SAP consulting, fundraising, project finance certification, insolvency, bankruptcy code. I told you about what is consulting. Then I told about the role of a banking. How does a banking domain works? Two major roles, credit manager and relationship manager. Then I talk about a finance, that is a corporate structure where you can go and be a part of treasury function. You can be a part of a FP&A function, right? Every function I can speak for 1 hour. मैं treasury पे 1 घंटा बात कर सकता हूँ, but अभी नहीं करूँगा, right? Because you'll get diffuse yourself, right? But of course we'll discuss in very detail in our GI training workshop. वहाँ पे बहुत detail में discuss करते हैं. इसलिए मैंने बोला कि we discuss somewhere around 25 hours in this. And very detailed so that you get to know which domain you should build your career into. And after that, then you get a recorded lectures for the master classes for the domain where you want to get into. And then a offbeat track. So this is something which is the areas of a domain where you can get into. You can also take a screenshot or a Snapchat of the photo of the same so that you can decide it, what all career options are available with you guys. ठीक है, कौन कौन से करियर ऑप्शंस आपके पास अवेलेबल है? फाइनेंस का मैं चाहिए तो एक बार ओपन कर देता हूँ, है ना? हाँ, अब लो, अब आई थिंक अब ज्यादा सही रहेगा। एक सेकंड। जूम 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 जूम, हाँ, परफेक्ट। अरे, हाँ, सो सॉरी सो सॉरी, हाँ परफेक्ट, अब ले लीजिए। आई थिंक दिस इज अ परफेक्ट साइज सब्सक्रिप्शन। ठीक है, डन। So that is something which we want you to understand, right? Which is there, which you should decide and know. Best is decide what you don't want, and then you need to decide what you want. ठीक है? So taxation में कतई मजा नहीं आता, तो मत जाना. Start audit is something which I like. Okay, very good. Go for it. Prepare for a start audit. ठीक है? Simple. So forensic सही लग रहा है, सही लग रहा है, तो करो prepare और जाओ. Right? So that is something which we want you to understand about the domain wise. I hope you guys have got a decent understanding of what all domains are available. राइट, क्या काम होता है समझ में आया? यस, नो, नो, यस, हाँ, जनरली हाँ, पीपल आर थिंकिंग कि इतने सारे करियर ऑप्शन तो मैंने सोचे नहीं थे। मेरे दीदी भैया ने बोले थे एक टैक्स होता है और एक ऑडिट होता है। टैक्स में होता है डायरेक्ट टैक्स, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स और ट्रांसफर प्राइसिंग। ऑडिट में होता है इंटरनल ऑडिट और स्टार्ट ऑडिट। एक होती है इंडस्ट्री, तो इंडस्ट्री में जाके कुछ काम करना पड़ता है, बस इतना ही मुझे बताया था मेरे दीदी भैया ने, है ना? ठीक है, हाँ। अच्छा, वेरी सिंपल, इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड व्हाट यू डोंट वांट, सिंपल, फर्स्ट सी कि आपको क्या पसंद नहीं है, राइट? हाउ डू यू डिसाइड व्हाट यू डोंट लाइक? फर्स्ट डिसाइड, से फॉर एग्जांपल यू से दैट कि सर मुझे ऑडिट में मजा नहीं आया सर, आर्टिकलशिप में, तो ऑडिट इज नॉट फॉर यू. नाउ इफ यू फील लाइक सर आई लव टू सॉल्व अ प्रॉब्लम फॉर पीपल, देन स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ कंसल्टिंग, राइट? देन यू कैन स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ कंसल्टिंग. देन यू फील लाइक ओके सर मुझे ड्यू डिलिजेंस करने में मजा आएगा, बिफोर एनी ऑफ द फंडिंग इज रेज आई वुड लव टू डू अ ड्यू डिलिजेंस, देन यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ ड्यू डिलिजेंस. ठीक है, दिस इज समथिंग विच यू गाइज नीड टू डू, विच यू आर गोना बी डूइंग. कोई कह रहा है टैक्स ऑडिट पसंद है, बेटा टैक्स ऑडिट पसंद है तो देन गो फॉर अ स्टार्ट ऑडिट ऑफ कोर्स. Now let's open the forum for doubts which are there, right? So that we can cover it. So do investment banking companies hire multiple attempts? ये back office और mid office में generally hiring हो जाता है, पराग जी. And you can also try with a boutique firm which is there. That is one. Second, nowadays lot of investment banking firm requires a good knowledge of a financial model. ठीक है, तो that is also very very important when you're going to be applying in any of the IB firms which is there. एक साथ कितने डोमेन डिसाइड करें? थ्री. यू नीड टू हैव अ थ्री डोमेन, फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी, सेकंड प्रायोरिटी एंड थर्ड प्रायोरिटी, एंड देन यू कैन गो फॉर इट. जीआर में फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग मिलेगा, हाँ मिलेगा. अगर आप आईबी एज अ इलेक्टिव चूज करोगे अपना, तो आपको फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग का कोर्स मिलेगा उसमें. ठीक है, तो दैट इज देयर. ऑप्शन फॉर आईएफआरएस एंड सीए, वेरी गुड, ये भी एक ऑप्शन है विच इज कॉल्ड एज अ सीएफओ एडवाइजरी. केपीएमजी इसको कहता है सीएफओ एडवाइजरी. PwC called as a CMAS, EY called as a FAS, right? That is an option available for the people those who are interested into India's role, right? So वो एक चीज I just missed out. You can, it's also there. Which domain offers overseas opportunities? All the domain offers overseas opportunities. Stat audit, internal audit, forensics, finance, consulting, IB, सभी में foreign opportunities है. कैंपस में ओनली 4 कंपनीज ऑप्ट कर सकते हैं. इतने डोमेन का क्या फायदा है? इतने डोमेन का क्या फायदा? नहीं बेटा, ऑफ कैंपस ट्राई करें ना, कैंपस पे क्यों डिपेंडेंट है आपसे? ठीक है, यस. लेट मी स्टार्ट टेकिंग सम डाउट्स फ्रॉम यूट्यूब लाइव चैट एज वेल. यूट्यूब पे काफी सारे डाउट्स भी आ रहे हैं, बिकॉज यूट्यूब दोनों जगह से थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाता है. कंसल्टिंग इज वेरी कॉम्पिटेटिव, यस सच है, थोड़ा सा कॉम्पिटेटिव रहता है कंसल्टिंग, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स राइट, लॉट ऑफ पीपल आल्सो गो टू डू एन एमबीए टू गेट इनटू कंसल्टिंग, व्हिच इज. सर विच डोमेन यू वुड सजेस्ट फॉर वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस? हाय 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 हाय, लोकेश जी कह रहे हैं वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस के लिए कौन सा डोमेन सजेस्ट करें? यार मैं जनरली तो रेकमेंड ही नहीं करता हूँ वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस पे बात करने का, बिकॉज अभी हमारी एज ही क्या हुई है यार. गो एंड आस्क योर डैड की वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस क्या होता है, वो आपको पता ही है वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस क्या होता है. ठीक है, बट थिंग्स अपार्ट, राइट, if you are looking for a work life balance then you should think for an industry or some global firms. ठीक है, इंडियन बिग फोर्स और बिग सिक्स तो देखना ही मत तुम फिर तो। ठीक है, द पीपल दोज हैव वर्कड और पीपल दोज नो कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस जोक ओनली। हाउ टू गेट इनटू पीएसयू राजा। पीएसयू पे है ना यूट्यूब पे अलग से सेशन डला हुआ है 1 घंटे का। पहले वो देख लो राम जी, है ना, तो यूल फाइंड अ 1 आवर सेशन अपलोडेड ऑन यूट्यूब फॉर पीएसयू। ठीक है। ये सेशन सीए वालों के लिए, सीए वाले ही कर सकते हैं क्या? हाँ, सलोनी जी, जो जीआर वर्कशॉप है वो सीए वालों के लिए ही है। मतलब सीए स्टूडेंट्स आर जनरली प्रेफर्ड, दोज आर क्वालिफाइड। ठीक है, सेमी क्वालिफाइड भी कर सकते हैं, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, बट थोड़ा सा डिस्कशन कभी कभी एडवांस लेवल पे जाएगा, तो विच यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इट। आफ्टरनून बैच में रजिस्टर करना है, एनी चांसेस? द आंसर इज नो, फुल। ठीक है सर, एक्सप्लेन अ फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग एंड एनालिसिस। एफपीएनए में एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ इन शॉर्ट, व्हाट इज एफपीएनए डोमेन। FP&A is nothing but what you plan the things and then you analyze the things. So, say for example, Amazon plans to sell 10,000 iPhones. What they need to do, they need to make a strategy for selling a 10,000 iPhones. And after that is done, what is going to be happening? एक बार planning हो गया, they need to analyze the things out. Right? How do they analyze the things? Right? अच्छा प्लान हो गया, फिर चीजों को देखेंगे कि अच्छा I was only able to sell 8,000 phones. So this is what a part of FP&A. So you plan कि 10,000 फोन कैसे बेचना है, फिर उसको एनालाइज करोगे कि अच्छा आउट ऑफ 10,000 only 8,000 phones are sold. What I need to do to ensure that all the 10,000 phones are sold. ठीक है। मास्टर क्लासेस फॉर ऑल द डोमेन्स फ्री में मिलेगा? नहीं बेटा, सिर्फ एक ही मिलेगा उसमें, पूरे का नहीं मिलेगा बेटा। तुम तो जान मांग लो मेरी। हाँ, सब मांग लो फ्री में, नालायक। इज इट रिक्वायर्ड टू डिस्क्लोज अ डोमेन इन अ रिज्यूमे फॉर आईसीआई कैंपस? बेटा आईसीआई कैंपस का अलग से जब सेशन होगा ना, हाउ टू फिल आउट अ फॉर्म, तब मैं बता दूंगा। इज वर्क फ्रॉम होम ऑप्शन टू बी अ गुड करियर कंसिडर्ड? नो, द आंसर इज नो। सर, एनी हेल्प और आइडियाज फॉर अ कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट? राइट, तो कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट के लिए यू कैन गो टू अ फाइनेंस रोल व्हिच इज देयर। राइट, जनरली आपको एक कॉस्टिंग साइड एक रोल मिलता है विद द फंक्शन ऑफ एफपीएनए, so that is there. So generally you guys are going to be working on a FP&A side and also on a cost side which is there. ठीक है। समझे सिंह, मल्टीपल अटेम्प्ट्स वालों के लिए कौन सा डोमेन सही रहेगा? बेटा अगेन आई एम सेइंग यू नीड टू डिसाइड योर करियर। शुरुआत में तुमने क्या बोला था? यू वांट टू चूज योर करियर और यू वांट टू चूज अ जॉब। यू सेड सर आई वांट अ करियर। नाउ यू आर आस्किंग मी अ रिवर्स क्वेश्चन, सर पैसा कहाँ मिलेगा मेरे को? नहीं बेटा, ऐसा नहीं पूछना है। आई एम सेइंग थिंग्स कैन बी लर्नड, इफ यू डोंट नो द थिंग्स, लर्न द थिंग्स। अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, जॉब मिलेगा इसका गारंटी है, बट व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर। इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग इट, समवन एल्स इज डूइंग इट, एज सिंपल एज दैट। नारायणा का प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक कल होगा? होगा। भले ही 10 बच्चे आए तो भी होगा। अच्छा, भले ही तुम प्रिपेयर नहीं करो, वो 10 के 10 को सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे। तो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर। डोंट कम एंड क्राई सिंग दैट मेरा ये है, मेरा वो है। रोने का नहीं, चीजें सीखने का। सिंपल। ठीक है। जीआर के रिलेटेड जो क्वेरीज है, राइट, हम लोग कल प्री किक ऑफ रहेगा, कल उसमें पूछेगा एकदम बेझिझक होके। राइट, तो वहां पे हम लोग कवर कर लेंगे। Private equity is nothing but what where you're going to be investing the funds in some private companies which is there, right? तो private ventures में चल रहा है, तो that is what a private company is there. Will masterclass help a people with the multiple attempts? Yes. And dummy people? Yes. कल का सेशन फॉर्मल में अटेंड करना है क्या? नहीं बेटा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। नारायण का सेशन नो नीड टू अटेंड ऑन अ फॉर्मल, बट हाँ डिसेंट ड्रेसिंग होना चाहिए, है ना, नहीं तो पता पड़ा खुद लोग नालायक लोग बनियान में बैठे हैं। नहीं बेटा ऐसा नहीं, कंट्रोल योर इमोशन। एमबीए पे एक सेशन ले लेंगे, डोंट वरी, विल हैव अ सेपरेट सेशन। When will the registration be open for batch starting from 29th? अच्छा, एक रिकमेंडेशन दे रहा हूँ, request you to join the earlier batch. The reason is every student those who join this batch also says that कि सर मुझे प्री रिजल्ट की बैच ज्वाइन कर लेनी चाहिए थी। ठीक है, तो that is there because you need to do lot of work after that. If you want to get into good companies, you need to ensure that you are the best. ठीक है, I would always recommend कि 29th की बैच के लिए, of course आएगी, 2 बैच आएगी तब भी, but you request you to please अभी ज्वाइन कर लो। फॉरेंसिक्स के लिए थोड़ा क्लैरिटी चाहिए। फॉरेंसिक्स के लिए जब श्रुति जी अभी ईवाई का सेशन होगा तो वहां पे आप पूछ लेना, वहां पे भी मेंटर्स, द पार्टनर ऑफ इनफैक्ट ईवाई इज गोना बी जॉइनिंग इन, तो ही इज गोना बी ब्रीफिंग इन वेरी डिटेल व्हाट फॉरेंसिक इज, व्हाट वर्क यू डू, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ फ्रॉड्स यू आर गोना बी डूइंग इट। What type of fraud you are going to be identifying it, not doing it. Can we? What about the exit opportunities after getting into taxation and Big Four? So generally, people move to finance domain after they have worked in a taxation domain, right? Taxation से थोड़ा सा exit options कम हो जाते हैं, but generally people move to the finance function, and finance से they can switch to multiple role of a finance assistant. May 23 pass out can also join in the batch. The answer is big yes, right? CS, CS, CMA तीनों join कर सकते हैं, right? 1 year, 0 years और 2 years experience वाले भी join कर सकते हैं. I recommend the first batch after exam. Recommended for all. Shreya ji, thank you, Shreya. Yes, ICW will helpful रहेगा, टेंशन ना लो. What comes under a finance controller domain? Very good question. Finance controller includes accounts payable, accounts function, report role, now you are going to risk. I think there was a voice lag. Beat. Accounts also you'll find part is done. Meeting. The answer is no. नारायणा का प्रीपोन हो गया है, हाँ 13th को हो गया है. वो 14th था. 13th sorry. I think there was a bit of a internet issue. हाँ. नो वीडियो नो वॉइस, सो सॉरी. तो नारायणा का 14th को था, राइट, विच वाज शिफ्टेड टू 13. द रीजन इज 14th को संडे, एंड कंपनी वांट टू एंजॉय देयर संडे. ग्लिच एट माय प्लेस लुक्स लाइक. ओके. हाँ, लैग आउट हो रहा है. हाँ, नाउ आई एम ऑडिबल. यस, परफेक्टली फाइन. नाउ आई थिंक आई एम ऑडिबल. ठीक है, डन. सो हाँ, 14th का था. इट इज शिफ्टेड टू 13th, राइट, बिकॉज इट्स संडे ऑन 14th. तो संडे को वी हैव आवर 2 sessions. Tomorrow's session is very important as a pre-kickoff session for the people those who have registered. Request you to please join in. And for the people those who have not registered, still join in because it will clear all your doubts why you should do GIR, right? And how GIR can change your life and career. That is something which you are going to be talking about. And we'll set up a proper expectation on a day one so that you are ready with the things which are there. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions. One is on Narayana Healthcare pre-placement talk. Don't miss it. Also request you to please ensure that all of your friends join in. बिकॉज मैं जब सीए बना था ना, तो मेरे को तो काफी सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज पता भी नहीं थी, सच बता रहा हूँ, राइट. तो दैट इज समथिंग विच इज देयर. व्हाट आई डू, आई जस्ट शेयर द व्हाट्सएप कम्युनिटी ग्रुप विच इज क्रिएटेड फॉर all of the CAs of November 23. Request you to please forward this link with your friends, right? ये link please अपने दोस्तों तक पहुंचा दो because they should not miss out. I've shared the 2 important links, right? So request you to please ensure that you share this links with your friends. Okay. First is of course the GR workshop link, and second is the community link which is there. Okay, these are the 2 links which you can just check it out. Okay. So I think that's it for today's session. I think you must have learned a lot of things regarding which domain to start your career from, what are the domains which are available, and how you can go into multiple domains. ठीक है. रिकॉर्डिंग किसी भी सेशन का अवेलेबल नहीं रहेगा, मतलब कि जो प्री प्लेसमेंट टॉक है उसका रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं मिलता है, राइट. तो यू नीड टू बी सिटिंग देयर, यू नीड टू बी लाइव, and after the session is over, you will be rolling out a Google form for the people those who are interested, right? So that your details are going to be shared with the company and company can schedule your interview accordingly. ठीक है. तो अगर आप अटेंड नहीं करोगे तो फिर कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको चीजें, राइट? तो प्लीज अटेंड इट, बिकॉज दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट फॉर यू गाइस, एंड ऑल्सो रिक्वेस्ट यू कि अपने दोस्तों को भी बता दो, बिकॉज जनरली पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ द सेशंस एंड द थिंग्स हैपनिंग, बिकॉज फ्यू पीपल डिसाइड टू गो गोवा एंड हनीमून एंड व्हाट नॉट आफ्टर दे आर क्लियर्ड. ठीक है, तो इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू कॉल देम बैक फ्रॉम द प्लेसेस वेयर दे आर. ठीक है. Okay, got it. So got it, guys. That's it about our today's session. I know there are a lot of doubts, but still we are here, right? हम कहीं नहीं जा रहे हैं. Every day we are having a session for you guys. Tomorrow we have a very important session. Request you to please join in. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. Definitely would love to hear your feedback from you guys in the chat box. फटाफट बता दो ना यार, feedback बता दो यार. ऐसे ना करो. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Yes, no, no, yes in the chat, please. With the full energy for the people those who have connected on the YouTube live. If still have any more queries, don't hesitate to put these queries in the chat or the comment section later on, so that we can also cover all the queries which are there. Okay, done. Chalo, great, right? The video is also live, was also live on your YouTube. So if you any of your friends, those who want to watch it out later, you can also share this video with your friends, right? So that they can also watch this video out if any of the important things or the concepts are missed out. Chalo, great guys. Bye bye. We'll see you tomorrow in the pre-placement talk session of Narayana Healthcare, the first pre-placement talk, which is going to be happening for you guys. Let's see and let's hear it out. कि क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, क्या opportunities है for you guys, and every day you'll find a lot of pre-placement talk happening in for you guys. चलो, bye bye guys. Wish you all the best for your interview prep and other things. और बढ़िया से आप जाओ, आराम करो.